Welcome to the ISL Platinum Division PR Reviews. We are your Division mod team, King Rock and Cyberus. And Ari is also here.
The best out of all of us.
Alright, so we're going to go through all of the teams, and we are going to hopefully upload this to YouTube. This is going to be an adventure, and hopefully we can help some of you guys make some changes if there are any bad teams and compliment some good ones. It should be updated from the most recent transactions made. Should be fine.
Yes, I do believe so. If we're going off Jam as last.
Wait. Oh, there was a bunch of feedback there. I'm not sure what that was from.
Alright, can we celebrate? We've encountered our first difficulties.
Yes, we've done it. We've done it. Alright.
Oh, let's go.
Alright.
Also, King Rock, you're not sharing screen.
Oh, yeah, that is fine. That's a good idea.
Share it to the world.
Okay. Alright. Now we are recording and we're sharing the stream. Let's go through. I hope we don't see a Gastrodon. Let us begin. Alright, so the first team is the Chinese Communist Party, the Chicago Chien Pao.
And we see a Gastrodon.
Oh, god damn it.
Alright, so do you want to go first, or shall I?
You may go first. Alright. I wasn't expecting it to be first.
I understand your hatred for Gastrodon, but to allow King Rock to recover, I shall talk in his place. First of all, I like the core of Rillaboom plus Gastrodon, because now you can slap lefties on it instead of the Grass Berry, because, you know, any Mon with a Grass move will now kill it in one hit. So I really like that core between those two Mons. But no, and in serious, Tornadoes, King Gambit, Rillaboom, Keldeo, all solid Mons, all work together nice, and you're probably bringing them to every single game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those are like my first thoughts. How about you, King Rock?
My first thought is this Gastrodon seems to fit well here. However, I don't know what it does. Because, like, its job is to vomit hazards, but you have Colossal, which does that anyway. It doesn't need to check
but
electrics.
Gastrodon takes these scars really well for the team, no? Because...
Yeah, but you have Keldeo and Dragalge, which are both special attackers that can take the Scalds fine.
Well, to be fair for Keldeo, it doesn't like the chip on it. But yes, I see your point.
Especially when a lot of the Mon spamming Scald can just carry Grass Knot.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree that I think Gastrodon's a little bit out of place. People like Mons like Tornadoes, Rillaboom, Keldeo, and Rotom Heat. A lot of the time, you're just like pivoting between them, and then you bring in like Breaker or something to come in clean, like King Gambit. But like with Gastrodon, it's just like it's an entire momentum thing. Like you switch it in, and suddenly like all this advantage you bring to a game is just like completely flipped over its head. It just feels weird, and it feels like sure it brings spikes. I don't know if it brings rocks.
It does. It gets both.
Okay, that's nice. And sure, it brings both, but like. As you said, Dragalge and Colossal also kind of do the same thing. Although, I feel like all three of these aren't like the best hazard setters. Like Colossal, you don't really want to bring to a lot of games. Gastrodon, I don't find to be like the best pick for this team. And Dragalge is cool with toxic spikes, but it's not its main thing.
My issue is you don't really have a consistent Stealth Rockmon outside of King Gambit, and you don't want to run rocks on King Gambit basically ever.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
I just really wish that Gastrodon was a Seismitoad. I do. My thing is, the first 5 Mons and Dragalge, so 6 of the first 7, have great synergy together. The Hatterene is also fine. The Electrode, Hisui, and Colossal are inoffensive. Objectively, this is a good team, I think.
I think Gastrodon does what Seismitoad would want to do, scald any switch-ins, take water hits,
Right.
set up rocks, get rid of items, clear smog. Have a ground stab that is
Does
special that
Gastrodon
it
get
can
rid
be
of
used in
items?
grassy terrain. Clear smog. I forgot corrosive. I don't know. My bad. I was
I don't
thinking
think
of
he gets
corrosive
corrosive
gas.
gas. I don't think he gets that. I think it's
Yeah.
knockoff.
No,
And
but it gets
also-
clear smog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like,
I don't know
it
why
kind
I
of
was thinking corrosive gas.
Yeah, it also kind of like sucks to put on Gastrodon because you lose like one of its crucial utility moves on it.
Gastrodon, I found using it in Paldea decks had the problem of it actually liked the fact that it didn't learn hazards before, because it would have the extra moves to check things as like a bulky water, but now it's more of like in the ground role as just like the thing that vomits up hazards. Yeah,
At least
I
it
don't know.
got toxic and scald back. I think that
Yeah.
from Palia decks to Nat decks is a major buff to it.
That's true. Yeah, I think. But overall, let's look at the actual core here, which I really do like: Rillaboom, Keldeo, Gambit, Torn, Rotom. And then you have Dragology and Hatterene. And the Electrode and Grassy Terrain is actually pretty interesting, because that can probably actually kill things now.
Gastrodon always have memento.
I don't know.
It has memento now. I don't know if it had it before, but it has memento now.
Well, so it does have momentum.
Mm.
Now you choose when your Gastrodon dies instead of the opponent.
Yeah.
All
Instead of deciding which other 6 months has Trailblaze, you get to pick.
Then my only issue is I feel the Gastrodon was a little rich. Everything else is fantastic. I
Yeah.
do really like this team.
Yeah.
Let's
Like-
move on.
Mhm.
Let's move on to the next one.
All right, we got JCK.
All right, so we have JCK's team.
All right, I remember this one went through changes.
I think they picked up Munchlax.
They picked up
That's a
Munchlax.
base pick. That's a base pick. I got no idea what it does though.
It's a god in LC.
It's really the team's only ghost resist. If you're not counting Weavile, which you probably shouldn't.
Like,
Weavile can take Shadow Balls.
yeah, they can definitely take Shadow Balls. Because, like, this is funny. It apparently has, like, a higher special defense than Scizor.
Nah. Yeah, No, I think it's just, like, a one-pointer, like, to check... just check a box,
Yeah.
just check ghosts.
Yeah, he also, dumped Bramble Ghost for Serena. Which is,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Surely has to be a better option than
dude,
Munchlax, though, no?
Dude, if he was like quicker on the trades, he could have grabbed like Superior before he got taken.
Mm-hmm.
He even had the points for it too.
Knacklestack is a better ghost resist than Munchlax.
Taco would agree.
No, it just resists ghost from its ability, no? It's just better than Munchlax.
Valkyrie is quite nice, yeah. Okay, I think we've gotten a little bit sidetracked. We've been talking a little bit too much about this Munchlax. Yeah, let's talk about the main mons. Mew, Weavile, Wah, Thunderous. You know, it's all mons. I won't lie. It's just like the team feels good, I suppose. I think like Mew is Mew, Weavile is Weavile, and the others do their job, right? I think like some of the main issues I have are that like Serena is a ground resist, but not like the best ground resist. Like I would still bring my ground type every time to this game.
Yeah, but you have Togekiss and Thunderai, and Togekiss is at least a ground resist. Thunderai is a bit more Fugazi as a ground resist, but they're immune.
Yeah, that's true. But like, you could probably do some weird stuff like Smackdown or Gravity, and they become way scarier. Because like, I feel like if you're bringing Serena to a game, it's like going to be like some weird thing like Synthesis plus like Rapid Spin. Like it's not really like threatening.
Oh, you could run an assault vest set. Did it get ice spinner? I know it has triple axle in this, but
I think it does
if
have
it got ice spinner, I don't think there is any reason to run ice spinner over triple axle because the damage output is significantly higher.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to run rapid spin because like Koala likes to run spin a lot.
Yeah.
And DI has Prankster Defog. It's not fixed into that role.
Togekiss has
But
a pretty
now-
consistent defog as well.
Now I will say this: you are quite lucky that no one has decided. You're quite lucky. I think you're the only player who's decided to draft a decent ice type in this whole draft. Because otherwise, an ice type like Kira would completely mess this team up, or even Mamo.
Hmm.
Well, I mean they usually do, but like ice types in general go like way harder on this team than
Yeah,
most.
Yeah, that
Ice-
was my
ice
issue with
ground.
this team. Ice types have significantly good time against this.
Yeah.
The only check to that is like you have an offensive check
Yeah.
to all of the ice types in Kokoava.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You can also
and
probably
probably
like
Magnezone.
Yeah.
But yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
like-
think there's a major issue with that team though. I think it covers all the bases. It has good synergy. I think it has decent pivot options too. I don't think that
I think
There is
offensive
anything
waters
bad.
with Ice Beam could also be an issue. Bulky ones, I think Clodsire checks fine, but like something like well, actually Clodsire might even wall Ice Beam like Inteleon, but like Greninja,
I don't know. Like Clodsire is like Clodsire, but I do think that like water types, like just like good water types, might be annoying because a lot of them do carry like ice moves on it, and it's kind of like free to spam
Yeah.
like ice beams and stuff.
yeah, Specs water types I could see being an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Are we good to move on?
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, Empoleon, oh god, it's film. Okay.
Well, you know what? I think this is pretty cool because I see a Yon Mega and Circuitry. You know? This team kind of looks like HO, like at a first glance, because like you've got like Ferrothorn and Landers as your bulk, and I guess Premier too, but it's like everything else is just offense.
Hmm.
Which okay, maybe it's not HO. I might be, but like you could go HO with this team. I mean,
You've
It's
a
cool.
very bulky Fire Water Grass Core. I like this team a lot. I still don't know how I feel about Ceruledge and not allowed to Terra, but this is a fantastic Fire Water Grass Core.
yeah,
I like
it's
the
not,
double ground immunity pairing with Ferrothorn and Meowscarada is good enough.
and like his breakers, at least on
Yeah.
special.
The only issue with the team is that it struggles against offensive flying types.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it
Oh,
does
yeah.
against them.
Oh,
But
Specifically
Wait.
special ones. Physical ones I think you can wear down between Ferrothorn and Intimidate Landorus, but like Zapdos
Yeah.
would not be fun.
even offensive, like something like Swallow rips apart this team.
Yeah. like earlier Tornadus kind of like just runs through it.
Mm.
Like I think you might have to just go like Assault Vest Circuitry for a lot of these games.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Trying to think if there's anything that this team is actually missing. Lando team, Meowscarada are fantastic tier 1s. I think
Yeah.
they're really, really good. Marathon is probably the best tier 2.
Yeah.
Grim is pretty good.
I think maybe well actually, I think like you might be forced to run like Defog Landorus because like isn't that his like main form of removal here?
Yeah, I think the only
Yeah.
two removal I see is that and Rapid Spin Komala, which is
Yeah.
not ideal, but
I think
Yeah.
Yan Mega might also get defog.
Okay, but that's a
but
sit.
this team can like overwhelm the
Yeah.
opponent with as many, if not more, hazards that opponent can
Yeah.
stack on them.
I
Yeah.
also don't
Plus,
know
a
that
lot
Yan
of these
Mega
mons
needs
nature
to be
like
here.
brutes.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's a cool one.
Yeah.
I think few more should get a pass of being on the team just because someone wanted to drop them.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it's really strong. I think it really adds to the especially offensive output of this team, so that allows Primarina and Azov can be lead and still not lose lead.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think this team needs lead Azov at all, though. So.
Yeah, I will say this is a very like film team, but I like this film team. It's a little bit off the wall, and it has like some more unusual like low tier picks, but they all work well and they're all nice. And I think his like higher tiers work. Amazing together.
I think the higher tiers are fantastic.
Yeah,
everything from Lando T to Saraledge I really like. The bottom half is a little weird, but I think Circuitry does really help against the Flyers. I'm not entirely certain what Overquill does, but I'm sure it's probably useful.
Yeah,
there are only two issues I have with this team. One is flying type, one is the Scald resist on this team is harder. Other than that, I think...
Yeah.
the
water is... Primarina being the only mon that really...
Well, he has Ferrothorn, which takes on everything, but I don't think either Ferrothorn or Primarina like getting Scald Burn, which is a very big nitpick. I don't think that is something that he's going to struggle with in particular, but those are the only two things that I can think that can trouble him. But other than that, I think he has his bases covered, so that is significantly better than what film usually tries to do with himself. So.
One final thing to note is I actually really like Zergashri on this team because his whole team like punishes ground types a lot. Miascaretta, Ferrothorn, Primarina, even Azelf, right, with Ice Beam. Like, you can... it's very possible for Zergashri just to, like, go crazy here.
You also really have a lot of grass and electric resists for Primarina. There's... the core really helps each other for this team, which you wouldn't think from, like, 2 grass types in the first 3 high tiers.
Yeah.
I like this team a lot.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Alright, this was the team that had the cool transactions logo.
That was really sick.
It was cool. Yeah.
Alright.
You want to go first?
Oh, we pointed out a team that just hates Mamoswine, and then we see Mamoswine.
Yeah.
Sorry, JCK. Alright, so this team has Tapu Koko and Fernape and Kartana, and Mamoswine and Starmie.
Right.
Okay. That is absolutely terrifyingly potent offensive core.
Yes. And then Mukalola is nice as just a defensive mon with knockoff and even like, to sponge hits. Or Choreo.
Paimons also take care of each other's weaknesses so well.
Yeah. It's a nice offensive little engine he's got going on. And I like the pivoting between Coco and Fernape and Starmie can do.
Okay, so the first issue I'm seeing with this team is the ground resists are Sylvali of several types, Excelgor, and Oricorio.
Okay, Excelgor is not a ground resist. Let's keep that real.
Neither is Oricorio.
Yeah, it's Oricorio.
I think Oricorio is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's a cool pick.
Know. How many points is that, Oricorio? I don't
know.
I don't know either. But I think it's cool, actually.
That's really quick.
I just think, like, ground types kind of, like, go crazy on this team.
Yeah, it's a very kill or be killed team here.
Yeah.
Because you definitely punish ground types in revenge, especially with Kartana and Mamoswine and Starmie as well. So, like, the grounds are going to have enough trouble getting onto the field, but once they're there...
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to be making the U-turn call with Coco a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Scarf grounds, also a very big issue. Like a crocodile, like a scarf crocodile is terrifying for this team.
I'm also going to point something else out. Because of your limited ground resist, you're most likely going to make Solali, like, flying or grass even, just like stem the bleeding a little bit. And in doing so, you limit a lot of the utility Silvally usually brings with typing.
Yeah. I mean, I typically like Silvally as a defogger. When I used it, it was literally just a defog bot. I had it match typings so that it would always have a positive matchup versus the opponent's stealth rocker, and just used it to keep off hazards. This team doesn't really need that because they don't really have any significant weaknesses to hazards.
Yeah.
And you have the rapid spin Starmie.
Yeah. Although, I guess another problem is, like, his team is, like, very fast. And it might almost be a detriment because, like, I think the only thing slower than, like, 80 is Muckalola, right? Like,
yes, but at least with Mamoswine being at 80, you're not going to have, like, 8 base 80s not having to run speed.
Yeah.
It's only, like, base 70s. I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, but, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, Trick Room is, like, a very valid option against this team. Which, oh.
I don't know that I ever considered Trick Room a valid option.
Well, okay, I feel like here.
Yeah. No. I see what you mean, but maybe with Ursaluna, absolutely. But it would need to be. I guess you could do a Trick Room Great Tusk as well, actually.
Yeah. Wait, I just realized you don't have to have anything slow to be like Trick Room. Like, I mean, obviously Mamoswine's there, but you can still have like a base 80 be like your Trick Room on, because it's a little like.
Yeah. You just run in negative speed.
Yeah, isn't Mamoswine like his second slowest mon? I actually don't know the base speed for Oricorio, but I imagine it's fast.
Yeah, it's 90 something. I mean, he does have priority too between Ice Shard and Mach or Vacuum Wave and Infernape, and I guess Water Shuriken and Excelgor. But yeah, typically I actually like teams that are this fast because when it comes down to it, a lot of the stupid breakers are around base 100 speed. And if you just never let them on the field or force them to be a choice scarf, which I think this team is going to do, I actually think that's your saving grace against the grounds, is that a lot of the grounds are going to kind of have to be choice scarfed to get over Infernape and Starmie to actually spam the earthquakes. But yeah, overall I really like this team. There is a Regieleki on it. We chose to ignore that.
There's just one issue that I have with this team, and it is mostly that I think Silvally is their actual steel type. I don't see any Moonblast switch-ins on the team apart from
it's Muckalola. Muckalola can switch in on Moonblasts.
Yeah, but like it doesn't have recovery, so it's
I don't think it likes switching into Moonblasts.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with Alola, it's a great resist, but, like, it can't take that many when hazards are on the field. And he's got, like, good hazard control. But, like, if you can position your fairy type well, it does, like, go against his team.
Yeah, I guess the fairy resists being so limited is another issue. But yeah,
I guess
I think this team is offensive enough that it can sort of ignore the issue. I do wish there was a spiker here, because you have a lot of attackers that are really fast, a little frail, but something like Infernape, Coco, and Starmie are always going to be lacking for the Okos. Kartana and Mamoswine are usually going to get them, but you could really use some spikes.
Rock. I think.
Oh, there is an Excelgor. There is an Excelgor.
The ultimate spiker, Excelgor. Spikes plus Final Gambit.
Yeah, no, I did neglect the Excelgor there. So yeah, he answered my question with his last pick. So yeah, I think this is an excellent team. I think there are definitely some issues, and it will occasionally be tough to pilot, but I think it'll be very fun. Yes,
looks like a fun team.
All right, what's next? Memphis Metagross. Ooh.
A Porygon and a Flygon, 2 mons where we know people hate.
Oh, okay. I guess Munchlax was sniped. But alright. So
Okay.
I generally think Porygon is just better than Munchlax.
yeah, I guess you could say that too.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Alright, so let's go over let's get into the details here. We have Dangarot, my sons.
This stupid court.
I
like
love these two together.
I feel like I'm seeing like Gen 9 OU ladder once again with those first 3 picks.
Yeah, and Amorous also complements Goldango very well.
Mm-hmm.
You have Terrakion as another fire resist for Goldango. Goodra and Tangrowth are they kind of do the same thing. I love all of these mons for the most part. You have 4 dark resists, including one that actively punishes you from clicking dark moves.
Samurott, Hisui, Crocodile, and Flygon. There's some kind of redundancy, but
yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, so I don't know how to pinpoint that.
Yeah, I think the odd man out is. I think the issue is Flygon doesn't get rocks, because Flygon would Crocodile would easily be the odd one out if Flygon learned rocks, but you want plenty of decent rockers with Goldango, and Terrakion doesn't like always to run it, so that's why the Crocodile is here.
I'm just trying to understand what Flygon's role is in the team. I guess it is as an offensive threat that is unique to others because it can Dragon Dance. Because
there's also a Goodra here. Yeah, the Flygon. It's another ground immunity.
I don't know. It's Gels in the corner.
It's a bit weird.
It may just be that it was a base 100 that acted as a ground immunity, and I think Flygon was also pretty cheap. So it could have just been a value pick. But I don't think you need the ground resist with Tangrowth and Amorous. Yeah,
I'm trying to think if there's something that this team needs, because I think Terrakion is a very consistent rocker. I think there's no weakness in, like, you have spikes with you have defog block, rapid spin block, good switch-ins to common moves that you'd like to have, like knockoff or rapid spin.
Actually, you know what? I think Flygon is the only removal in this team.
You're right.
Yeah, Flygon's the only removal in this team. That's why it's here.
That's kind of rough.
Yeah.
There is surely a way to get around that in the last 2 picks other than Flygon Porygon, no?
You can definitely. How many points is Flygon?
Let me look and see if a certain mon is available. If my glorious... Yes, here he is. Here he is, Gels. Bring Donphan home. Just get rid of the Crocodile, turn that into a Donphan, and you improve because of it. Goldango loves rapid spin. He hates defog because you're getting rid of all of Goldango's work if you have defog. You
also have Toadscrew.
Toadscrew is another good option. Well,
I don't know if that is what is required by the team, but
I think if you turn the Crocodile into a Donphan and you turn Flygon into just something. Let me go back here. This is our first professional recommendation. How much was the Flygon? 7? What is there in 7 that could be?
You could definitely hit decent roof on 7. That's something.
Yeah.
I have
speed options.
I think I have a shiesty suggestion.
Okay, lay out.
Option. Decidueye Hisui. It's defog.
Well, if we're getting Donphan, we don't really need the second remover. I mean,
I don't think he should pick up Decidueye Hisui either. I don't. Tangrowth is just significantly better.
A base Yeah, I think you're just looking at the base 100 speed tier. I think you actually save a couple points if you go from Crook to going from Crook to Donphan saves you 1 point. So you could replace Flygon with another 8-pointer. So just looking here, like you could make that a Flamigo. You could make that Typhlosion Hisui. Does he need a fire type? Oh, it's missing a fire type. Yeah. Yeah, make that a Typhlosion Hisui. It doesn't. Well, I guess you already have a ghost too. That could be. Yeah, that could be conflicting, but
I will say this. Another like small issue with this team is like Goldango is going to have to go overtime to deal with like flying types, which it's fine with dealing with them, but you're gonna have to make sure it's gonna have to be like a bulky Goldango for like most weeks because of them.
Maybe we want this Flygon to become an electric.
Make him suffer. Bring him the Electivire.
No.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
I think I really love what you've done here with these 4, these 5, and the Slowbro is also good. And the Goodra is fine. It's really just the Crocodile and Flygon consolidate your grounds. Much like Memphis in the NBA, you really need a consolidation trade here to get the most out of your Mons. And I think if you get the Donphan, you're in the money. Donphan is excellent with Goldango, Samurai, Hisui. It'll work. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Really liked that team.
Yeah, I like it too. We got P. Banders. And
get that logo off the how can I get that logo off the screen? Oh well.
Besides the logo, the first thing that sticks out of my mind is hazards. Because he has a bunch of ways to both get them on the field and off the field, actually. Well, 2 ways.
He has 2 defuggers.
Yeah, okay, well, they're both good. You're always going to bring them to the game.
Yeah, this is another case.
Also gets Mortal Spin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Almost never works in game when you're drafting it because people will almost always switch their steals into it. But it still gets it.
Yeah. With this many hazards, this team is another one that I would like to recommend. Just right off the bat, the rapid spin is your friend, folks. Don't let people tell you just need defoggers. If you're trying to set this many hazards, you want to keep them.
I also, he has Mortal Spin and Glimora, but I also think that Glimora is not 100% necessary on this team.
Yeah, I think it's really its ground weaknesses.
It is a massive personal bias because I don't like using Glimora at all because it kinda always feels like it's in a limbo of trying to be offensively good and being able to set up the hazards, which its basic gimmick is. But I have found Glimora to be very underwhelming for its points, like how much point you invest into it. So unless you have good ways to stop removal, like you have Goldango, or you have ways to, you don't really have too many ways to set up hazards. I don't like Glimora on teams, and this team has a lot of ways to do that.
Alright, so
it's not particularly struggling in that thing.
A particular issue I have with this team that I'd like to bring up is alright, so we have Garchomp and Garchomp, Zarude, Rotom Wash is a really good core. My problem is these two are very weak to ice, and Rotom is the only ice resist because you consolidated types too heavily, and now Rotom is the only ice resist because your fire type and your steel type don't resist ice. This is a problem I often run into with Steelix when I look at drafting Steelix onto teams. And same thing really with like the Talonflame, Moltres, Charizard. You giving up that ice resist to get those Mons can sometimes be a little dicey. And just having 2 Mons of the standard like ice resisting types that don't actually resist ice, this team could really use like, I don't really care about freeze dry resists. Like this team could use a second like bulky water or something, I think would be my recommendation. because I don't think you needed the Dunsparce. Like, Zarude is one of the best ghost resists in the game. I think Zarude as an only ghost resist is perfectly fine. Although you do have quite a few ghost weaknesses because you have the 2 psychic types.
Yeah, but Zarude can well, I mean, I guess Zarude could. Yo, the Dunsparce. Bring it to every game.
They could. If it resisted ice, they might need to. Maybe you could get a Snorlax on this team somehow.
Maybe. How many points is Glamora? Isn't it a tier 2?
Glamora's a tier 2.
Glamora is tier 2, I think it's 13. Or 12, 12, it's 12.
Do we wonder... I wonder if we could turn the Glamora into something...
You know what this team could do? This team could drop Glamora, Crobat, and get the Rotom Wash Zarude Crobat comp.
Yeah, with Garchomp.
Yo,
and then they can be even weaker to ice.
Yeah, and have a worse tier 2.
Well, yeah, but then you can drop Talonflame.
That I was looking at 12 points. Ooh. Yeah, the 12-point one that I was looking at was Volcanion, which is so strong, but the issue I was facing is that if you do that, I don't see a way to deal with the points that you get from dropping Talonflame and still being able to not have hazard, like weakness stacked up. Although I don't think weakness actually stack up between.
Yeah.
Alright, so what if they drop the Glamora for the Crobat and we have the Crowrude? Then we drop the Talonflame because we don't need that anymore for the Hisui and Typhlosion. And now we don't need the Mismagius anymore, and we could turn that into something.
You can maybe get there's gotta be a decent normal type of whatever, right? And you can drop this.
Well, the Dunsparce is the decent normal type. You just turn
you're right.
into maybe another water, actually? Or maybe you want it to be a no, because the poison's taken care of by Crobat.
Yeah.
You want
you can maybe go Double Dark.
Yeah, Double Dark or another water or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my recommendation. Crowroot is your friend. Alright, let's move on to PH2. Placeholder 2. Alright.
That is a fantastic logo for that team name. I need to give props to the logo. That is a fantastic logo.
I love it.
Alright, so what do we got here? We have a Hisui invasion of the high tiers.
Yes. It's, I like all the new stuff.
Yeah. There's a Zygarde 50, Ninetales, Empoleon. Empoleon is a mon I'm conflicted about, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
There is a Wo Chien, which, sure. Ninetales a little Arctozold is fine. So I guess the angle we're going for here is hyper offense, because you have Veil with Zygarde and Veil with Sneasler.
Yes, that was what I was thinking.
You also have Veil with Arctozold.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also have Veil with Armarouge and Indeedee, and you have Psychic Terrain for Sneasler. The Indeedee is really nice here for that stuff.
Alright. Here's one of my problems with this team. Actually, the main problem. And it kind of ties into Empoleon, right? There's two things. Empoleon's going to be brought to every game. One, because it's your main water type.
Yep.
Yeah. And no, the main problem is it's also your only Stealth Rocker. Actually, Hazard is one better.
It's your only... Empoleon is your only hazard. This is an issue. And I believe, actually, the mon we might need to look at is Corviknight. Because I don't... Well, I guess Corviknight has HO sets, and you want to use this as an HO mon, but the thing is...
But...
You're really,
then, here's a problem.
Yeah, you're really covered.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should negotiate a trade between these two guys to get Glamora onto this team. Because this team would love to have
This would be the HO squad, yeah. I think another problem with HO
Corviknight on that team would also be so good.
Okay, we need to negotiate a trade here. Because they would love Corv.
And that's another problem with Corviknight's team is like you could go HO, but then like you're having no hazard removal at all. Or you would it's Empoleon, but like
Yeah,
Empoleon doesn't want to run
Empoleon.
off
It's the
hand.
little Empoleon that could here. And
Yeah, the thing is like now people like to shit on Empoleon, and I don't think it's bad as like people say it is. But the problem with like people like using Empoleon is they use it as this like roll compression tool, and when you're having it's like you're only like water type on this team here, you're forced to run like defensive sets, which is not the only thing Empoleon can do, but you greatly like hamper Empoleon's like utility, or I guess even like just general usefulness when you do it.
the fact that you have a high tier ground and steel that and neither learns rocks is just kind of brutal.
Yeah. It just like it feels weird because it feels like an HO team, right? But it's like it doesn't quite get there. Like it doesn't quite get there.
I think it has way too many momentum sinks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it also might be trying to do too many things because you have the snow core and you have the terrain core.
Yeah.
And like get all that to. Oh yes, it actually is a scamp team. You're right. There's even the Wo Chien.
Oh, live Wu-Tang reaction.
I think there's just so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the perfect chaos for Zoroark.
Yeah, I do think that if this team is built with if they creatively build with this team, I do think that there are so many offensive pieces that no team can actually check all of them.
I think it's got the right tools to be like a really strong team, but I think weirdly enough, with all the options, you kind of limit yourself in a way because a lot of these like utility offense defense options you have, they like counteract each other, so you have to like pick and choose, right?
Yeah, I think the original sin here is the Wo Chien. I'll be honest.
No, he's so cool.
It's not the original sin, but
he's so cool.
It really, everything else I can at least see the plan. Well, the Empoleon I can't really see the plan with either, but I understand why the Empoleon is here, because you need a water type and you need a stealth rocker, and where does that bring you back to me? But
poor Empoleon.
I think this team, you desperately want a suicide lead, like an Aerodactyl. You would love it. This team would love Aerodactyl.
Yeah. The problem is like Ninetales is your suicide lead, and it's like very easy to counteract.
Yeah, that is the other.
I also almost never see Wo Chien coming to any games.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
You have good psychic resists and Corviknight in DD if needed, but
Empoleon.
Yeah, I just don't see Wo Chien coming to any game. So probably they want to change that.
Yeah, I would change Wo Chien to maybe.
Also, I feel like we kind of missed something as well. What does Armarouge do on this team?
Oh, Armarouge is actually awesome on this because
expanding
force, weak armor, weakness policy behind the veil. Oh, this team is enabling Armarouge to be Armarouge, and I love it. Armarouge is an awesome Pokemon. I generally kind of like it a little bit more than Ceruledge, and I think this team, you have really set it up for Armarouge to go crazy on this team, which is why I want some more hazards. I think this team is best built around, you want to focus, if you have 3 Mons as your big win cons here, and that's the Sneasler, that's the Zygarde, and that's the Armarouge.
Actually, I do think you might need to bring Wu-Chain to games because Shan and Empoleon are your only water resists, and Empoleon does not want to get burnt by skulls or anything.
This is hyper offense. We do not care about resists.
Nah, fair.
These games will be over in 15 turns at the maximum.
Well, with hyper offense, it's either 10 or 50.
Yeah,
and you know which one they're gonna win.
You aren't winning the 50. But
yeah.
I think the Corviknight is superfluous. I think it's a little greedy. I think you want a more consistent Mon for setting hazards there.
Yeah, draft is all about options, and you've got a lot of options, but I think you just need focus on the idea for this team. It's there's something promising here though.
There's a real hodgepodge of stuff here, and I think I think
at the end of the day, I think if the player is comfortable with this team, I think this team can.
I think
definitely
you need
have
another
like a significant winning record.
good hazard setter for it.
Yeah.
To me, because I do think like Sneasler, because Zygarde only has 100 base attack too. That's something to keep in mind. This is one of those things with like a Cleavor would be excellent here. Just something to make sure the hazards go up.
Right.
And because with hyper offense, you don't really need to worry as much about the opponent removing them because that's giving you an extra turn to get to your end game. So my big concern here would be, this team could use
is actually available.
Is Bisharp available?
I cannot find it.
Because this team could actually really use Bisharp as well. Because you could use Bisharp if you switch out the Wo-Chien for a different mon that's a water type and make the Empoleon Bisharp. Because Bisharp has the Defiant, which can punish the trying to defog the Veil.
Yeah, Defiant. If you can fit a Defiant Mon.
Yeah, this team would love a Defiant Mon.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, you have a Defiant. I forgot. Empoleon does in fact have Defiant. It's not a good Defiant Mon, but it doesn't. It actually does have it.
Don't sleep on physical Empoleon.
Because it'll be like your rocker and probably hazard removal.
I think you want a different water type. I think you want a different dark type. But otherwise, I love some of the ideas here. And this team is going to be a nightmare to prep for anyway, so I think this team...
I'm watching the games because it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, this team will be entertaining.
Yeah,
I want to see how this team changes, even if they don't make Grace transactions. I have a feeling that some Mons, like after 1 or 2 weeks, if the Wo-Chien doesn't come to any games, just get that son of a bitch off the field.
He's cool, man.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
All right, moving
on to the Portland Poplios with random Poplio. Oh God.
Was he on your DTT team?
No, that was good as Spidops, who is I've just absorbed their entire team this season.
Okay.
I said oh God because there's a Ditto, which we're gonna ignore that for now.
Oh God, no. Alright,
there's also a Tapu Bulu.
I care less about the Bulu than we're just not gonna talk about the Ditto. Alright.
Yeah.
So team,
you got 9 Mons.
Yeah. This team is an armada of Pokemon that people tend to underrate. It really is. Like, a bunch of Mons that have been knocked down a couple points as of late with Salamence, Bulu, Alakazam, Galvantula, Obstagoon. It's like a bunch of Mons that you always want to kind of fit onto a team but can never quite do so.
Yeah, he made good use of, like, the budget.
Yeah, these are some really fun ideas here. You take advantage of grassy terrain a lot between Heat Train, Mence, Nidoking. Even Urshifu Rapid actually benefits from it because those Trailblazes are now going to actually threaten to kill some things they wouldn't ordinarily otherwise. You're killing more than just Gastrodon now.
Yeah, and it also really enjoys the recovery boost from grassy.
And everything here, well, except for the Mence. And, well, I guess the Zam... Zam's either at 1 health or 100%.
Yeah, let's actually talk about Mence. Because, I feel like it's going to only have one role on this team, and that's as bulky defogger.
Oh, is it the only... Oh, dear.
Yes.
No, there's a Rapid Spinner! Oh, wait, no! Avalokhisui doesn't get Rapid Spin!
Yeah, I thought it did too until this moment. I didn't realize how much this sucked.
Wait. No. That might be capped, because sometimes the doc lies to us about the Hisuimons.
It does have Rapid Spin.
Yeah, I'm gonna fact check that.
Okay, but even if it does, Do you really want to bring this thing to a game?
Oh no, regular Avalugg is better.
Yeah. Actually, you're basically playing with 8 mons.
Yeah, it does have rapid spin. Yeah. You are actually very correct in that hazards are a definite issue here. Because you have the terrain recovery, but that's only going to do so much.
Yeah, and here's the thing: Heatran is great as Cell Rocker, fan-fucking-tastic. I love it, but it's also like your main one. Like you can run like Cell Rocks and Nidoking, but like in this generation, I found that like Nidoking really wants like all 4 coverage moves to hit stuff, and like with Heatran being your Cell Rocker, you lose a lot of like variance it has now.
Yeah, I can see that. It might be time to sacrifice the Ditto. I know it brings me no joy to report this, but how many points is the Ditto?
Well, too much. It's too little actually. We should bump it up.
Yeah.
Make sure no one's
8 points. All right, so let's see if we can get something that sets or removes hazards in 8. Tentacruel is an excellent option.
Tentacruel could be cool. Yeah.
You set you're not a rocker, but you set T spikes, which are nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some ideas. My thing is Ditto is like a setup deterrent, but you already have Alakazam.
Yeah,
Alakazam already does that, or at least is like a good check to set up, and you're so offensively threatening. You don't really let your opponent set up on you.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. The Ditto here is like.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Ditto turned into a rapid spinner or maybe another rocker, because you can run boots on stuff. Well, you never want to run boots on rapid strike, so I guess that could be an issue. But you do have. It really only gets crippled by T-Spikes, and Nidoking takes care of that.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's some hazard resiliency here, but you could definitely use some extra removal.
Yeah. I think the only other, maybe... There's actually one other problem, is Scald's kind of a bitch to switch into here.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an issue. A physical grass, physical water. Oh, Covert Cloak. You run Covert Cloak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No more Lumberries to switch into Scalds. Just get straight to the... What? You have Obstagoon. You have a Gutsmon, but the Scald might, 3-hit KO it from some mons.
And the thing is, Obstagoon, strange enough, really wants that, HP, so you can keep, as much, turns as possible to hit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's got a similar problem with Ursuna, where it's at high health, it feels like a god. When it's at low health, it feels like the worst mon ever.
Yeah, this has a lot of interesting mons, but you are right. Scald is a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
And I do think it may be time to sacrifice the Ditto for some more cohesion.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned, I know you mentioned Covert Cloak, but, bulky water types with, knockoff plus Scald, that's an actual major problem for this team.
Yeah, well, they might also be running Sludge Bomb as well if it's something like a Seismitoad.
Yeah.
A Seismitoad that could be on that Gastrodon person's team, no cap.
Yo,
alright,
Seismitoad time, buddy.
Popplio, very, very interesting team. I like a lot of the ideas here. This team could actually use Gastrodon. as much as it pains me to say it. Because this team you could also solve this issue with Seismitoad. Never mind.
Well, it's a race for Seismitoad.
Yeah, Seismitoad would, because you can run Earth Power Seismitoad. It's not an issue. But turn the Ditto into something that's good. Avalokasui, I'm sure you can probably find better removal than that, but Avalokasui is in and of itself funny, so... Yeah. And with Galvantula, you do force some defogs, which is nice. but you can also just boot stack, which your team really only wants boots on Ments and Gals.
Yeah. I think
what they can do is drop like Ditto for Jellicent and change that Avalok to Articuno.
That doesn't solve the issue of only one Stealth Rocker, though.
Yeah, I mean, it has. They have 2 Stealth Rockers already,
two.
no?
Okay, yeah.
Wait.
But you're really pigeonholing Heatran is the issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nidoking,
this
generation I found.
I don't think you're bringing Avalok UC to set up rocks anyways, no?
Yeah. No. I don't think you're bringing...
You're not bringing Avalok. Yeah, I'd pay money to see that thing brought.
How many points is that, too? Just to see how many points we have to work with here. It was one. It was one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So one, I can never judge a 1-pointer necessarily, but I will. But yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. So just change the Ditto into something. If you want to if the Avalok is sentimental values, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah.
I do think you would be better served
I'd
relying
like to see
on
that
your
come
own
to a
team
game.
rather than relying on the opponent's team.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing some shade at Ditto. Alright, SS, Slurpee Slugger. Why did I say that? Alright, so...
No, record that. Hey, it's recorded.
Okay, so we have Chi-Yu. This is the Chi-Yu team. Nice.
Yes.
That mon is broken.
Yeah.
I
remember him talking about how he didn't want the boring pick, but boring picks are nice.
Alright, so I don't remember what this team looked like before the transaction, so we're looking at this raw.
Right.
Or not raw. We're looking at this post-transaction, so they might not have as much room to work with here. So let's see how they did. Well, I guess we could let them change out transactions if there were ones they already made and just edit the messages. If you edit the message to something we suggest, I will not penalize you. I'm just gonna say that. So let's look here and let's see how they support the Chi-Yu, shall we? Because what I like to look for in supporting a absurd special breaker like this is, first of all, do you have the capacity to let Chi-Yu not have to be boots? And the same thing for Darmg, actually. Both of them have that same shtick where both love choice items a lot more than they love boots. Do you have the power to keep those rocks off the field?
You got Latias.
You have Latias and you have Delmise.
Which might be enough. I mean, to be fair, you could bring Gladius to most games. Which isn't the best use of it, but is entirely possible.
I would love to see a low tier magic bouncer or just a more consistent spinner here. I think, but this is. We're gonna give you a passing grade, maybe a C+ for supporting Chi-Yu through removal. Next, let's see how they get Chi-Yu on the field. So we have U-turn Darmg, we have U-turn Mienshao, and we have the almighty flip turn Swampert. A+. Swampert is an incredible mon. You have chosen the best water ground. You have forgone the Scald immunity in exchange for quality. Yeah. I love Swampert. So
Swampert's great, yeah.
Yeah. You have pretty good. You also have Volt Switch Toxtricity, and Volt Switch Iron Thorns actually. A++.
Oh yeah, I forgot Iron Thorns gets.
Although
I forgot.
I don't know how I feel about those two mons on the same team together.
I was about to point this out. I know you've got Delmise and I suppose Latias, but ground types kind of go crazy here.
Well,
I don't think Volt Switch on Iron Thorns does anything ever because its most consistent counter is always a ground type. And
that's true.
Just never works.
Toxtricity it might though. The Iron Thorns is looking a bit like the odd man out here, looking at this team a little bit, but we'll look a little further. The Earthworm Relying
It
on
has a 6
Orthworm as a
shiny.
steal is a bit fugazi, but we're gonna ignore that
I
for
think
now.
Orthworm has a good niche on the Steam.
No, I think
The speed type.
fits this
I
team
think it's
very
good.
well.
I think it's going to come to most games.
Yes, that therein lies the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do have a lot of fighting weaknesses, but your fighting resists are mostly specially defensive based or kind of frail. Yeah, really fast fighting types like a Terrakion or I'm trying to think. Yeah, Terrakion specifically looks a little annoying.
I think if
Infernape could also be annoying, yes. Though
actually,
Infernape
Infernape is
struggles
actually
more with Latias.
yeah, but you can always U-turn on it.
Yeah, because Swampert is a brilliant mon, but it can only do so much when it doesn't actively resist the hit. Like, Swampert will get you past like one onslaught from one of these powerful fighting types. It's not a Pokemon that is going to consistently keep coming in. You want to kind of shorten the game, which you have the power to do through Chi-Yu. Now, next for the how have you built around this absurd breaker checklist? What is your sweeper? Do we have a really fast mon here? Because the thing is, Chi-Yu is just going to be destroying the defensive core. It needs another mon to come in and claim the kills to end the game. And it looks like your speed is Scarfers. Scarf Darji and Scarf Mian Xiao. Your fastest mon is Latias. For Nat decks, that's probably not going to cut it.
No, it definitely won't.
Yeah, you're gonna run into base 115s having a field day. I think can Weavile run Adamant against base 110s?
Yeah, don't know.
Yes,
I
think it's speed dice.
Yeah, it's something like a lot of the faster mons, like Zeraora, can absolutely run Adamant, though it'd run more lonely for the Grass Knot on Swampert. But yeah, I think you want a faster mon here, and I do think the odd man out is the Thorns, but it could also be the Toxtricity. I think it's a question of whether you value the physical breaking of Thorns or the special breaking of Toxtricity. And I think with the Darm, well, I guess both are also both can also be win cons because they both have speed boosting sets as well. But I would generally recommend keeping one of them and maybe finding another fast mon to go with that other spot. I don't know. What do you think, Saber?
I think in theory you could maybe like make the Latias as your fastest mon pass because like I mean you might be able to just do like Chi-Yu and Darmji like Scarf, and that could honestly just like work for every game.
Yeah, but you're the rocks, and more importantly, the fact that you can run a base 115 choice Scarfer against this team and say, I know I am faster than everything.
Yeah, I will say something like Greninja kind of like goes in on this too.
Okay. Oh, so this guy had what? Let's see what this guy had before. He had Articuno, Cofagrigus, Roserade, and Iron Treads. I mean, yeah, maybe I would change instead of the Toxtricity, I'd do something a little different. But yeah, you want some speed. I actually do like the Darmji here more than I like the Iron Treads actually. And I actually like Orthworm more than I like the Iron Treads here, honestly. I think that the Darmji pickup was actually very nice. So yeah, I think the trades you made did actively make this team better. The Toxtricity, that could be something different, I think. And you have one more free transaction, so if you could Well, you could either change out the Toxtricity, and that wouldn't count, or you could change out the Iron Thorns for something different, because it's a little redundant now, especially with Mienshao and Darmg.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could make that something that just might cover some of the weaknesses we pointed out. Alright, TPG, what's next? Team Plasmagnazons. That's a cool team name. Coach me.
I also really like the logo. It's nice.
Alright, so we finally happened upon the Great Tusk that I've been warning all these Ground Week teams about.
Yeah, wasn't this like pick 6 or something? I feel like it was late into the draft.
Let me, I can check. It was pick 6, yeah. And for Great Tusk being 18, Great Tusk is really good, and being allowed to take a 16-pointer is actually really...
Yeah, I think you guys underrated a little bit. Like I believe it should have been 19 points.
I looking at these other mons, I also feel like the 19-pointers you were actually kind of punished really hard if you weren't taking Coco in 19. The other ones, it's kind of tough.
Chiyu?
It's the thing with Chiyu is it is kind of tough to build around with the other mon being a 15-pointer. I mean, it's doable, and Chiyu is, don't get me wrong, it's broken, but you are at a little bit of a disadvantage. And I like how that's balanced out. I do really like this format.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this team.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have a lot of slow Pokemon that do nothing here, folks.
Yeah, I will say I'm not a big fan of the Fortress and Blissey combo.
Yeah, we have a lot of slow Pokemon that do nothing.
Yeah. It's, you had me at Great Tusk plus Iron Moth, and looking down, it's kind of going away.
Fortress has been buffed significantly this gen that it no longer does not do nothing, because it got Body Press, which is...
Okay, Body Press does make it decent, but...
It also got Thunder Wave, which is
it has Thunder Wave?
all the
Ooh!
Yeah.
Okay, that makes Fortress a little... I kind of like that now. And I guess Blissey with Teleport isn't that terrible?
I hate Blissey. Personally, I don't know what Blissey does on ladder in draft. On
ladder it works because it lost most of his tools. But in draft it's also bad because it's so easy to prep against. It really is. You know, taunt, substitute, setup, pick your poison. You have a way to deal with it.
Alright, so I have a couple burning questions for this team. One, Tauros Paldea Water is a fantastic mon, incredible, horrible fit here because you already have Azu and you already have Great Tusk. You have a water type breaker and a fighting type breaker. I think this is here to fill a speed tier, and base 100 is just very. You can find something else, I promise you. And Toro, you might even put that up for trade, and somebody might want it. It's a very good mon. Don't get me wrong, just not a great fit here. I think it will really struggle to make the game day roster.
Isn't his beat? Maybe his speed tiers are a little weird because it goes from Noivern to Tauros. Then I think Iron.
No, it goes Tauros to Iron Moth. Noivern to Iron Moth is fine.
Yeah. And then I think it goes to Tauros, to Great Tusk, to Upandan, to this year. It's good.
The speed tiers are good, but
bad at all.
Yeah, but the Tauros is I wish that would. Yeah, because the thing is, Tauros Paldea Fire wouldn't really change my mind either, because then it's kind of in the Iron Moth situation. But yeah, let's look.
I think for either case of you wanting to bring Tauros of as a Scarfer, you can have Scarf fighting type. You always have Rapid Spin Great Tusk on the team. As a bulky setup mon fighting type, you also have Great Tusk. As a bulky water type that can set up, you have Azumarill. I find it difficult that when you're practically building with the team, you'll want Paldea Water to come. But at the same time, I also don't think you particularly need the last 3 months with the first 7 months you have. I don't think there are many
Yeah,
issues that are left with her.
I don't mind the Blissey, because Scald plus Ice Beam is kind of annoying for everything else. And because Blissey gets teleport, I don't hate it. My one problem
with Blissey is like, it's like you just run taunt and suddenly it loses all its effectiveness. Like the thing is, like, if you want like a bulky normal type, there are better options. If you want something that can just like handle scalds, there are also better options. Like the problem with Blissey in draft specifically is like there are like very specific teams that it's meant to be on, and unless you have those teams to help support it, Blissey goes from this like wall to being this like dead weight that just like it's 6-0'd.
Yeah, like gold, like if you run into Gold Dango, you're in trouble. Well, I guess Calm Mind you might have a shot, but like I know sub Calm Mind Gengar just destroys Blissey.
Yeah.
Unless Blissey is also Calm Mind, Blissey is forced to get creative to check the stuff that it ordinarily just checks normally. But I agree. And then the Pincurchin,
I think the Pincurchin's only thing is to set up electric terrain for Ironmon and set up spikes for the entire
job is to just spike and then memento into like a life.
I think it's just 1 or 2 points.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with it. My issue with it is that the Pincurchin is the only flying resist. That is the issue I have. That is.
Well, for Brave Bird you have Fortress, and for Hurricane you have Blissey. So it will be managed.
Do you have Fortress for Brave Bird?
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah.
Especially when, like, something like a Staraptor could probably pretty easily tack on a Heat Wave.
If Staraptor was drafted, I'll take that. I don't think Staraptor is drafted anywhere.
Fair enough. But yeah, especially because a lot of flying types, even the physical ones, those Heat Waves are going to break past Fortress pretty quick. I don't mind the Pincurchin. I think for a low tier, just Spike's Memento is enough for me to say that that's worth staying. I agree that I think Blissey needs to probably go, but I think you could justify keeping it. I think Tauros needs to go.
How
many points is Tauros?
It's like 7
or 8.
Much. It's actually
7. Can you not just get like drop both of them, get something like Miltank, and then use the rest of the Blissey points into something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't know if Miltank is drafted or not. We haven't seen Miltank.
Yeah, I don't think Blissey is really good for this team. Miltank could be interesting. I actually could see it like have some use here. Because it fulfills the role of Blissey, but like actually
it
does stuff.
It's base 100 speed for a defensive mod, and actually run speed because it's like a fast Thunder Wave Mon, fast rock.
Yeah. It's very similar to like Screen Tail in that way.
Yeah. And then you can maybe use the rest of the points to get something that maybe like a flying resist or something. I don't really know how, but I just think that this team is offensively so strong. It is going to be very difficult to play against this.
Yeah.
Even if you are forced to bring Pincurchin, you just get like a speed boost Iron Moth that can fire dance and then just win. Like a special attack, and then you just cannot deal with it. And then Coupon Bound is so good to have on this team because it breaks everything in the game.
Right. Yeah,
but I'll say it's somehow manages to not break anything in game.
Alright.
He named U-turn.
Alright.
Yeah. So like to conclude here.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. But I guess to conclude my points on here. First 4 picks, great. Fortress I'm fine with. Decidueye Noivern, also like, and Pincherin is fine. I just think you really need to like replace Blissey and Tauros. Yeah. And I think you'll have a much better team.
Alright, to the World Series. The worst Sharpedos.
Ooh, Healy.
Right, what do we got here, Healy? What have you have for me?
He's oh
god, it's the Gastrodon of fighting types.
Don't call it Gastrodon of what?
I call
Come
it
on,
the
very
Gastrodon
good.
of fighting
Stop the
teams.
slithering. Stop slithering slander.
You know, you know, you know, you know. On a first look here, my first immediate thought is bulky Cinderace is gonna have to put in a lot of work.
Bulky? Did you just say bulky Cinderace?
Yeah,
There's no way that is. Why is there a bulky Cinderace? There's no shot.
Okay, but bro, look at his like hazard removal. He's gonna have to bring that bulky or change Cinderace every
The problem is he has so many good hazard centers.
game. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
he
As
got
much
that
as, like-
Tri-Scarf D-Fox Miracle. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
No, I think Thundy T also gets defugged. So this
Yeah,
this
I don't
thing is
think
this
there's
thing
a
is
major
lying.
issue with that.
Okay, but like I feel like
The
you know it's a
removal
sin from
could
God
be
to run
better.
default.
The removal could be better.
As also, I think a lot of mons just naturally like running boots on this team a lot. Thundy T runs
Thundy,
boots.
Slowking.
Cinderace runs boots. Slowking loves boots. Garg is I don't think Garg worries about that. Tinkerton
Garg doesn't love hazards
a lot.
after using it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
unfortunately that
I
rock
think
type.
against Spike's team, offensive core change on Cinderace, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a massive issue regarding that. Although, how is it showing 0 defogs?
Yeah, no, something's up with that. Just ignore that. He has multiple he has 2 defoggers. And he also has 2 spikers.
Yeah.
And I think everything from Garganockle on down gets Stealth Rock, actually.
You're right.
But yeah, let's look at more of the. So the first 2 picks, we got a really overwhelmingly fast offensive pressure. Love that. Love Slowking. Absolutely love Slowking.
It's able to bring in both Thundurus and Roman.
Thundy T's again fine, awesome. Slitherwing, it's okay. It's okay.
You say that, but Slitherwing is like its best fighting resist on the team. Especially when you have Roaring Moon, I think a fighting resist that can.
The fighting resist that can pivot it on U-turns is fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this team is very much, it's not a fan of U-turns. Rocky Helmet Tinkaton, I think, is going to be coming to a lot of games.
Yeah.
Now, the Garg, I don't love with this team necessarily. Garg's role in draft is significantly different than it is on ladder, because if you just want to punch a wall if you Salt Cure into a Covert Cloak, and you also want to punch a wall if you don't bring Salt Cure, and after your game your opponent shows a pace with 0 Covert Cloaks. Both of those things, it's really a 50-50 of whether or not your move slot gets to exist.
Yeah.
And otherwise, you are kind of just a Regirock that has Recover, which is a good mon. It's a very good mon. But, yeah.
I will say this. Fairy types could be a problem, because like Cinderace can take some, and I guess Tinkaton can as well. And Slowking can like kinda
They don't
act
take
as
them
it,
forever, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, you know, a little bit chip on Slowking, some
I
chip
was
on
actually
Cinderace.
going to mention I'm not liking Dragons either.
Yeah, having Tinkaton as like your both fairy and steel is enough. You know, actually, Garchomp's
Yeah,
nice.
Garchomp is a bit problematic,
think-
yes.
It has like soft checks to a lot of things, so I don't think there's a massive issue with anything in particular. But like if you have like you run into Garchomp, you have Celebi as a soft check. If it is somehow banded, like banded outrage or scarf outrage, you can have a Roaring Moon in the back to revenge it. I think it has soft checks to a lot of things, but
the double psychic also feels a little weird to me because both of them really hate U-turn. I mean, you
Yeah,
have
but you
good
have
ghost and
Slitherwings.
dark
This is
resist.
what I'm saying. Slitherwings
Actually-
goated.
Yeah,
The Slitherwing
actually-
is one aerial ace away from me laughing at it.
You know, Scizor kind of has a fun time against this team.
Oh yeah, Scizor is a bit
I
problem.
also don't think Scizor is drafted.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I guess it's 15 points, but
yeah, well, that's 15 points. Holy shit!
a Scarfed Cleavor could also be a bit of an issue.
I don't think anyone drafted Cleaver.
Why
Cleavor
not?
is
It's
also
good.
not drafted.
It's.
It gets
Like, that's
Trailblaze. It's a very good.
I feel like that thing's gonna be a little bit overrated. Like the moment you miss one like of those rock moves, you'll slowly hate it.
Cleaver is not drafted. Like
The thing is, that's
not
more
drafted.
accurate than Stone Edge. It's like I can't be mad missing a Stone Axe because it's literally just better Stone Edge. I have maximized my odds. It has the same accuracy as Rock Slide. But yeah, this is a very weird team in that I have no suggestions to make actually. I think I trust the pilot.
Yeah,
And
Healy
I
is
trust-
very good.
He does have a bit of Scamp Jr. in him, and I think I think I like this team. I think if it wasn't him piloting it, I think I would be trying to make suggestions. But I think I like this team, and I like I like what this is doing.
Yeah, messing him up at Healy.
My one
so
suggestion would be getting rid of the Celebi and Quagsire for Toad Scroll and something, because I want to see him cook with the Toad Scroll again. But alright. Last one, alright.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I think it's time for the best team,
Alright,
made
so
by the worst mob.
This is just the exact team you sent me like 6 days ago. You got everything.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Well, I think Talonflame to Moltres.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I bullied Talonflame into call. Never mind. Okay. And you got better speed because you got Cyclizar, which is an incredible Pokemon.
Say that again? My mic.
Oh yeah. There was some silence there. Yeah, you got Cyclizar, which is an incredible Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love the first 7 Mons. I love Garbodor. Dunsparce I trust was 1.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, not gonna complain about 1-pointers.
Yeah, I was looking for a random 1-pointer.
Uh-huh. Then, so, we got Zeraora, Clefable, Excadrill, T-Tart. Clef Sand is I'm already on board. Manaphy, Manaphy's one issue here is that I feel like some of its best sets are Rain Dance sets, but you can do other stuff.
Being able to draft the Fable and Excadrill and Sand after so much restriction on the same team, but still having a slot for tier 1, I think that's a crime. I don't think that should be legal. Everyone could have picked it in every division and decided not to pick it, and I don't know why. I think that is insane.
Yeah, I think... Alright, so I have to figure out something to bully on this team, so...
Alright, I know what it is. Yeah.
You knew what I was going to talk about here.
Yeah.
Alright, why is it here? This was not the plan that was given to me.
I kept on thinking, man, I'm gonna get Superior. Man, I'm gonna get Superior. I'm gonna get my boy, right?
Uh-huh.
My top guy. But then there's a little voice in my head, 2-1 saying, you need to have 2 rock resist. You need to have 2 rock resist. And I was like, I never tried Chestnut before. And that's it.
Did you consider drafting Rev of Room as another rock resist?
He did a better thing that you're suggesting him to do.
I know. As a second rock resist, yeah, I'm not gonna hate on this.
Yeah.
I do think that, like, I guess, like, if you could make a consolidation of, like, somehow getting Roserade and then a Lothair fighting, maybe like a Girder or something, then I would.
Well,
Like, if the points worked that you could get Roserade and Girder, I would love that. But
yeah,
Chestnut is
I
fine.
think, yeah. Well, I consider Rosary. The problem is, like, I didn't want my grass resist to not be resistant to ground type. Because this team really likes having one that is.
That's fair, especially because Quake Slide. Yeah, you do kind of need a Quake Slide or Edge Quake with Moltres. Yeah. That's fair.
And like, if it felt like the other like smaller things, like it's a grass type with Leash Seed, so it also pairs well inside sand.
I do say your team does not love like bulky grounds. Is one thing like more in like the Mudsdale mold, like Mudsdale Hippowdon would be a bit of an issue. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like just
it
that.
does not like bulky grounds. It does not like a lot of like fast, strong water types. Or
fast, strong water types can just
somehow.
get eaten by Manaphy. Manaphy will eat them. Manaphy loves checking water types.
Yeah, that happens till you get like Scaldburn, and then you have your own sand to chip you down. But
that's fair. But Manaphy,
I don't think I'm just nitpicking. I don't think this team.
No, I think this team
hates
is very
anything.
good.
I think this team does one thing. I think it does sand and zero or Excadrill clean, and I think it's going to be built the same way, like 6 out of 9 weeks. Like you'll have same 6 bonds, probably same 6 spreads.
My kind of team.
Yeah.
You know, it's
so strong.
Yeah. I tried to build a team around like folk bringing like T-Tar and not bringing T-Tar to games, and I think I succeeded in it.
Well, you've succeeded in wanting T-Tar every week. But yeah, I guess you do have a bit of a balance mode. I do feel like Excadrill without sand is cope. Yeah, I think the team will be at its best under the sand. I will say that. Alright. And with that, I think we are good.
Wait, there was no Walking Wake Sun team? There was no shot in the entire division?
Yeah, there was no Walking Wake Sun. Nobody drafted Sun, I don't think.
I think I'm the only weather thing. Oh no, there's also that Hail team.
Well, did not expect
There
that.
were actually a couple Hail cores.
Really?
Well, actually, no. Healy didn't have a Hail Abuser, but he had Slowking, so maybe he wants to pick one up. But all right.
Ooh, that could be cool.
All right. I guess conclusions. Any team that particularly stands out to you as your favorite?
Mine obviously, because I think I'm the coolest guy ever. But
that is true.
Yeah. But no, I think
I like Cyber's team a lot because I think it's just ridiculous to be able to draft that. Being able to draft Excadrill, T-Tar, and Tier 2 entirely while still having both your Tier 1 slots completely free, I think that is incredibly insane.
I gotta say, the ones I like the best besides Cyber's team are probably the ones I actually suggested making the most changes to. Which is a sign that I really like them when I'm trying to make them perfect.
I really like the. Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can find that again. I really like. Let me see. Where is it? I like placeholders. Yeah. Okay. I like placeholder 2's team, and I like Films a lot. I like both of those. Those are probably my favorites.
I really liked Ash Mar's team. I think that's a team that I would draft. Minus Oricori Regieleki, but I think that is a team that I would love to play with.
Yeah.
I also really like Meme's team. I
like Gels' team.
Team is going to be really fun to watch.
If we make some good trades here, I really like Gels' team, and I really like Jam's team. If he pulls something to make it even better, I think I would like that maybe even the most. All right.
Was there a Zora Kazooie team?
Yes, that was the placeholder 2 team. We didn't go over it because there was so much going on.
Yeah, it was an interesting team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I'm going to watch all of the games probably if I'm awake. That team is so I need to see how that works out.
All right. All right. Well, good night, everyone, and hope you all enjoy your seasons.
Yeah. Good luck to everyone.